See you in a second. Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome. You are here in the lab room. Louie Tee live, breaking down every single game in week 3 of the preseason in the National Football League. Of course, I am your host with the most, Louie Tee. Thank you for joining me on this program. So before we get to the breakdown of the Pittsburgh Steelers at the New Orleans Saints in week 3 of the preseason, I want to first welcome you to the channel. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to the Louie Tee Network on YouTube for more great content in 2016 and beyond. There are other different social media platforms that I have as well. They're right down below. On Twitter, @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. On Facebook, In the Lab Room is the page. Follow me on Twitter, like the page on Facebook. That being said, there are a number of different ways you can reach the show if you want your voice to be heard. Just simply use the hashtag LouieTeeLab, as you will see down in the scroll. If you're on the actual chat discussion on YouTube, you want your comment read on air, use the hashtag LouieTeeLab. If you're on Twitter, @InTheLabRoom, hashtag LouieTeeLab. You're on Facebook, same thing applies, hashtag LouieTeeLab. Okay, so with that all out of the way, I want to talk about the things that I liked, my dislikes, and the banana in the tailpipe from this game in week 3 of the preseason, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New Orleans Saints. Like, dislike, banana in the tailpipe.
What y'all, the second team?
We're the first team.
Yeah, we're not going to fall for a banana in the tailpipe.
You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
So, likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe is simply me talking about the things I liked from both teams, things I disliked from both teams in this football game. And the banana in the tailpipe concept is simple. The thing that I'm not falling for, the banana in the tailpipe is the oldest trick in the book. I'm not falling for this. And so it's something that I may have seen in this game that I actually liked, but I'm not convinced that that's what we're going to get in the 2016 season from that football team. Or it may be something that I disliked in this game, but I'm not going to just condemn this team to that existence in 2016 just because I saw that in this game. So the banana in the tailpipe, I'm not falling for whatever it is that I deem necessary in that category for that specific team. So I want to start with the road team. That's what I usually do when I break these teams down in these particular games. I'm going to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were on the road. And I look at their likes in this game, and you got to start with the offense. The first team offense, and hell, offense in general in this game was outstanding. The first team offense, let's just go down the list of guys that I thought were standouts in this game that I felt like I needed to mention. Of course, you start with Big Ben. He's the guy pulling the strings offensively as the guy in control. Haven't seen him all preseason for good reason. This is why you didn't need to see Ben in the preseason. Right here, he went in, and again, take it with a grain of salt. The Saints are one of the worst defenses in the league. They were last year, and they're looking like the same thing this year. At least they did in this game. Ben went out, carved these boys up on the first 2 possessions, took them right down the field, 74-yard play drive on the first possession, gets in the end zone to Jesse James. I'll talk about him in a second. Second possession, they come right out, go right down the field in 5 plays, hits Tones for a touchdown, and just like that, Ben's night is done halfway into the first quarter. I mean, amazing how easy he made this look, how easy the offense made it look. That first team, AB, what more can we say? What more can I say about Antonio Brown? Tones is the man. He goes out, blazes these boys, and gets out of there. And again, him and Ben, they made it look easy against that first team defense of the New Orleans Saints. Eli Rogers, this is a guy that I need to talk about because I didn't know a lot about him. I have Pittsburgh Steelers fans telling me about this guy and how he's been performing. This was my first look at Eli Rogers. Thoroughly impressed. Think he's going to step in and help this Steelers offense. Thought he was helpful in this game. Caught a couple of third down grabs. Looks very fast and spry. Also doubles as a punt returner for them. So I like this Eli Rogers guy. Looks like he's going to be a help and a nice addition to this Steelers offense. And again, looking to pick up the slack from Big Ten, not going to be in the lineup this year. Here's a guy that I think not going to be able to pick it up by himself, but able to do a little something, do his part. Really like what I saw from Eli Rogers in this game. Jesse James. I've been talking to fans, not necessarily Steelers fans, but fans of other teams in the AFC North, and they're saying, oh, wait, Steelers are struggling at the tight end position, especially if they don't have LG come in and play. Ladarius Green, we don't know what his situation is. Is he really injured? Is it concussion related? Is it leg related? Who knows? But Jesse James is the guy that they drafted a couple of years ago out of Penn State, or it might have even been last year. I want to say it was a season ago, not this past year's draft, but the 2015 NFL draft. And out of Penn State, guy can catch the football. I think he's going to be a guy that Ben relies on, and we saw that in this game. And I think he's going to be an integral part of that offense, even when Ladarius Green comes back, if he comes back. I think Jesse James is still going to be a guy that Ben looks to get the football to in this offense. So I feel good about him at the tight end position. And then, of course, L. Bell, Le'Veon Bell, going to miss the first, where were we now? 4 games of the season? I think it's 4 games. I don't think his suspension got reduced. Yes, it did get reduced to 3 games. Doesn't matter. Still going to miss 3 games of the season. He looked damn good. Caught it out of the backfield. Ran it well. And this is the extra added benefit you get when you get an all-purpose, full-threat back. On one of the out routes to AB on the first possession, I want you to go look at this play. It's just a simple out route, speed out. Tones picks up about 8 or 9 on the play. Go look at what L. Bell does to Cameron Jordan on that play. Absolutely destroys him, knocks him down on his ass, on the seat of his pants. And that's what you get out of L. Bell. That's what you get out of the elite 3-down backs. They can not only catch it and run it, but they can also provide you with the extra protection needed for that quarterback to have the time to survey the field and make the right decision. He's a full, all-go, all-purpose back, and he's one of the best in the league. And that's part of the reason why L. Bell, again, his first team offense for the Steelers, flawless in this game. They came out blazed. They were razor sharp, and they blazed the New Orleans Saints. 2 touchdowns on the first 2 possessions, and then they got the hell out of Dodge. You go to the next, the defense was flying around for the Steelers. Now, I don't know if this is what we're going to get from this unit moving forward, but I've always said, all offseason long, I've always said that this is a talented front 7. The question mark is in the back half. Well, they were flying around, and that includes the secondary. I saw Sean Davis, the rookie out of Maryland. He looks good at the safety position, flying around, made a play on Kobe Fleener over the middle of the field that was going to be a catch, was able to dislodge the football. He was in the scrum with Willie Snead in the end zone, even though Snead was able to come down with that football for a touchdown. Sean Davis is around the football, and he has that versatility. Even though he's a safety, played corner and safety at Maryland, so they can drop him over the slot. Saw them do that with him in this game a couple of times. He looks good. Landry Jones struggled last week. That's an understatement. In the ball game versus the Eagles, 4 interceptions, all in the first half. He needed a bounce back game, and bounce back he did. 19 of 22 in this game for 206 yards. He carved up this Saints defense. And look, I've said this before and I'll say it again. You want to get right. You want to get healthy. The antidote offensively normally is this Saints defense. Last year, if you were having trouble throwing the football, find the Saints offense. You can have success throwing the football. You struggling to run the rock? Find the Saints. They will be your antidote. Now you can run the rock. Landry Jones needed this type of performance. He needed this for his confidence, and he got it against a very bad Saints defense. Let's go to the dislikes for the Steelers in this game. Le'Veon Bell, L. Bell put the football on the carpet. That's a no-no. And that's not something that he does often, but he can be a little suspect with the football at times. He's a guy, again, when you get these shifty backs, a lot of times they'll have the football out away from their frame, out away from their body, and it got poked away by Delvin Breaux, picked up by Donnell Ellerbe. So they were on the move for more points, and I don't think he was going to get the first down on that play. It was a 3rd down, but they were going to get a field goal attempt, and then that fumble took points off the scoreboard. So Can't have that if you're L. Bell. Cameron Hayward went down with an ankle injury, his right ankle to be exact. Doesn't sound serious. He claims he'll be back and ready for week 1 versus Washington on Monday Night Football. But all players say they're going to be back for week 1. No one wants to be out for week 1. But a high ankle sprain for a man his size, nothing to play with and nothing to scoff at. We'll see if he's ready to come back. But again, I hate injuries at any point of the season, especially the preseason. And Cam Hayward, one of their most productive defensive players, went down in this football game. Banana in the tailpipe for the Steelers. It can't be that easy offensively. It just can't be. Okay, that's my first banana in the tailpipe. There's no way they're going to be that efficient, that easy offensively. They're not going to make it look that easy offense. They just can't be that good offensively. Now, we know Ben can get it revved up. AB can get it revved up. L. Bell, all of those guys, whole supporting cast, but it's the Saints defense. No way they're just going to be. They had 208 passing yards in the first quarter. No way it's going to be that easy. That's a banana in the tailpipe. I'm not falling for that. It was the Saints defense in conjunction with a really good Steelers offense. Secondary being this good. Look, we've talked about the secondary in Pittsburgh as an Achilles heel of this football team. I thought they actually looked good. Look, they were playing against Drew Brees. That is no laughing matter. That's not a joke. Drew Brees, still one of the best quarterbacks in this league, always seems to be throwing for over 5,000 yards. This was a nice challenge and a test for them, and I thought they passed this test. That being said, look, they've got their own issues that I'm about to address due to the Saints. And so I don't want to give this secondary that much credit, even though I thought they looked good in this game. I don't know if that secondary is that good. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe of this Steelers secondary being legit after this football game. Let's go to the New Orleans Saints. We'll start with their likes. CJ Spiller looks good. Talking about Spiller, CJ Spiller. He looked damn good in this game. And look, if he can just stay healthy, that's always the thing with CJ Spiller. That's been his bugaboo throughout his career, is staying healthy. We know how dynamic this guy can be. Remember last year, Saints start the season off 0-3, 0-4, something of that sort. Throw him the football in overtime versus the Cowboys, and he's able to rumble for about 60 yards for the game-winning score. He can be dynamic. He looks explosive. He looks healthy. Can he stay that way? That's the question that needs to be asked. But right now, he looks good, looked good in this game. Hopefully, he can stay that way. Drew Brees, come on, what more do I need to say about Drew Brees, man? Hall of Fame quarterback in the future. Guy looks to be in tip-top shape. Throwing the football over the middle of the field with reckless abandon, as always. Had Kobe Fleener in between two defenders. Got called back because of a penalty. We'll talk about that here in a second. You had Willie Snead over the middle of the field with a linebacker draped all over him, and he's able to come down with it. And then the patented Drew Brees throw. I don't think anybody in NFL history throws the football in the end zone up high so that the receiver can get it in between multiple defenders or with a defender with his back turned than Drew Brees does. Willie Snead, double covered. Drew Brees gives him a chance, comes down with the football, gets hit by the safety who comes over, Mike Mitchell. Ball is dislodged, and it comes back down into the hands of Willie Snead yet again for the touchdown. Drew Brees in typical Drew Brees form, got it done in this football game. He's never going to be the issue in New Orleans. I can assure you of that. And then the aforementioned Willie Snead. People love to beat up New Orleans Saints receivers, say that Drew Brees makes them. This is a really good receiver here in Willie Snead, the fourth. I love what he brings to the table. Sure-handed, runs great routes. You know what you're getting week in, week out with Willie Snead. And so, thought he looked good in this game. The only touchdown that the first-team offense was able to produce came with Willie Snead coming down with the football in the end zone. So, really think that he's another guy that's going to be an integral part of this offense moving forward. Let's go to the dislikes for this Saints team. Notice I didn't mention the defense at all in that likes column, and there's a reason for that. But let's get to the dislikes before we get to the defense. Michael Manawanui down with an injury. He's their best blocking tight end, also a guy that you can throw the football to. And so, again, I hate injuries this time of the year. I hate injuries, period, and I hate to see a guy like Michael Humanawanui go down. Again, with their best blocking tight end, he went down early, and it does not look good. Could not put any weight on that left leg when he was carried off the field and actually had to be carted off the field once he got to the sideline. So that does not look good. Let's get to the defense, okay? It's the elephant in the room. They gave up 208 passing yards. Ben Roethlisberger blazed them for 148. Then Landry Jones promptly came in and got him for another 60 in the first frame. Gave up 2 touchdowns, and if not for the fumble of L. Bell, they were going for more points. They looked horrendous in the first quarter. Couldn't get off the field on third downs. This defense, they're so young. They went after poor P.J. Williams. I said, Peej, it'll get better. Don't worry. It'll be all over in the morning, man. Don't worry about it. They went after young P.J. Williams, and I always say this about young corners. It's baptism by fire. You're going to get baptized by the best of the best at the quarterback position. The best receivers in the league are going to work you over. He got worked over in this football game, Ben Roethlisberger, and even Landry Jones to a certain extent went after P.J. Williams and had a lot of success. So we'll see what happens with their defense, but make no mistake about it, they still struggle on that side of the football, and it was apparent when the Steelers had their first team offense. And like I said, Landry Jones even came in and blazed them as well. So really impressed with the Steelers offense, but really more disappointed in the Saints defense, because I said to myself, there's no way they can be this bad again. But this looks exactly like last season. Maybe the run game for the Steelers wasn't as apparent. They didn't look as bad on the ground as they were against the run last year, did the Saints defense, but they still were giving up some yardage on the ground as well. So pass defense right now, big issue. And I think part of the reason is they're not getting enough pressure. They're not generating enough pressure with just 4. You can't ask Cameron Jordan to do this by himself. They need to be able to generate some kind of pressure. That Haole Kikaha injury looming large right now. Not to say that he was going to generate 10 sacks by himself, but he was a guy that could get pressure on the quarterback. And I don't think they have that many guys in New Orleans right now that can do that without having to dial up some blitzes. We'll see if DA can do that once the season starts. But right now, just coming with the vanilla 4-man rush, not good enough for this Saints defense. They're not hitting home, and it's showing as the Steelers had their way with that defense. And the left tackle position was another dislike for me in this game. Look, Teron Armstead, when healthy, really good. He's not healthy, so he's not good right now. Had a holding penalty. I talked about the Coby Fleener pass over the middle of the field. Really good sign for them, because Coby Fleener hadn't really been on the same page with Drew Brees all offseason long. So they were starting to get into a little rhythm, and they had the holding penalty on Teron Armstead on that particular play, calling back probably about a 25-yard gain over the middle of the field, where Coby Fleener took a shot but held onto the football. And on that play, Teron Armstead limps off the field, actually was escorted back to the locker room, so that doesn't look good. He was already banged up, didn't look good in warm-ups, I was told, and then he ends up re-aggravating whatever was wrong with him prior to the game. Then they bring in Tony Hills, who was an ex-Pittsburgh Steeler, and he was getting abused. He had a holding penalty. He was getting beat off the edge. So that left tackle position is one of concern for me right now. A couple of penalties that really halted some drives and kind of stalled what the Saints were trying to do offensively. And I don't know if you can trust those guys out there, especially Tony Hills, if he has to come in for Teron Armstead for any amount of time. So that is a concern for me along that Saints offensive line. And then we get to the banana in the tailpipe for the Saints. And the defense can't be that bad, can it? Like, they can't be that bad again, can they? No way. I'm not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Look, my instincts and my eyes tell me that they're bad again, okay? But it's too early for me to condemn them to that existence this year. It's too early for that, man. I cannot bring myself to say that they're going to be historically bad once again. But I'm telling you right now, what I just saw was not pretty. And it really wants me to believe that they're not going to be good defensively again. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to stick that banana in the tailpipe and say, no, you're not giving me with the banana in the tailpipe. And I'm going to pull it out of the tailpipe and say, I'm not falling for that right now. This Saints defense is going to get it together. They may not be good, but they can't be that bad. They can't be. I refuse to believe it right now. At least not in week 3 of the preseason. So that's my banana in the tailpipe for this Saints football team. But let this be known. That offense can score points, but they can't outscore the opposition if you're going to give it up like that. Okay, 208 passing yards in 1 quarter of work. That's an atrocity. They got to clean it up, and they got to clean it up in a hurry. And again, it's preseason. You're not scheming. You're not game planning. You're not really blitzing. You don't want to show a lot. I get it. But that's bad. Period. End of discussion. So, going to check Twitter to see if there's anything there for me, as I like to do customarily at the end of these breakdowns, to see if anyone had any comments on this particular game. And I don't see anything here. So I'm going to check YouTube, and I see a couple of comments. So I'm going to read them quickly. Blackbird Blitz says, Sup, man. You up too early on a Sunday, bro, but I love it. Actually, today is Saturday. So again, look, it's morning, people. Forgive him. It's Saturday. Don't worry about it. It's all good. The Cruising 26 says, LOL. Do you sleep? Unbelievable hustle. Nothing but respect. What's sleep, man? I don't know what that is. If you can define that for me, I might be able to tell you if I do it or not. But in any event, that is all that has been said. And so that's going to do it for this program. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, I cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. Week 3 going to be wall-to-wall coverage all weekend long as I look at every single game and break down what I saw in week 3 of the preseason. So that's going to do it for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New Orleans Saints. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I will see you next time when I'll be talking Redskins and Buffalo Bills, essentially Redskins. All Redskins all the time, as I'll be dropping a new Redskins report breaking down the week 3 preseason game versus the Buffalo Bills. I will see you at 2:30. Until then, enjoy your day.